All right, so when I was hearing this earlier, when I was hearing this live, I was watching this live, and a big problem I had with what Stephen A. was talking about was basketball. Period. Like I understand that he has a platform because of basketball, but everything he does in his life doesn't revolve around basketball. Like this is something bigger than basketball, and my big problem with the Kyries, the Colin Kaepernicks, is they don't use their platform enough. Such as if Kyrie wanted to come on first take, he could. If Colin Kaepernick wanted to come on first take, he would. I believe Stephen A. extended a invitation to him. Kyrie went on live last night and said everything he needed to say. He didn't say exactly what, except he said everything he needed to say except one thing exactly, and what is the end game to it. But it don't take much. It don't take much to put two and two together unless you don't want to. And the main people I see having a problem with this are basketball fans. Like it is bigger than basketball though. And I hear but to respond to what Stephen A is saying about how Kyrie keeps finding ways not to play. Other than the break he took last year, he's been injured. Like, you can't blame him for being injured. So that is an anomaly. Like, other than the injury, you had one instance where this man did not show up for his job, and although that was bad, that was pretty bad to be taking a mental break and then get caught breaking the rules, partying with your sister. That is bad. But other than that, how does he lose all credibility because of one incident? And but to keep bringing it back to basketball and going as far as to call the man stupid, or not call him stupid, but his reason is stupid for it, is just ignorant. And it's almost to the point of bootlicking when it's saying that you have a job or saying you owe anything to your teammates. You don't owe shit. Kyrie don't owe shit to Kevin Durant. He don't owe shit to James Harden. Kyrie can break his leg tomorrow, and the basketball will keep going without him. Is what he's doing is bigger than basketball. Basketball went away for 6 months, and life kept going on. It's bigger than basketball. I understand this is a sports show, but to be this ignorant or to act this ignorant is just frustrating, because these are the guys we listen to every day. And when you think of black media sport, just black media personalities, you think of Stephen A. Smith. And this is this type of shit he's saying. It's bootlicking, it's ignorant, and it's just flat out ignorance. Nobody is talking about basketball. Nobody is talking about basketball. He don't like, because he's not there for Kevin Durant. That's why you go to lengths of calling this man stupid. And I watched it live. I didn't hear this man say anything about being a voice of the voiceless. He did say he wanted to use his platform for people who can't speak for themselves, if that's what y'all want to say. But the narrative was brought up by somebody else. He said yesterday it's his body. It's what he want to do. He sounded like somebody who's willing to accept the consequences of not living out his dream for this. What is the problem with that? Kevin Durant is still in. This doesn't really hurt his title chances. It doesn't. If you want to bring it to a basketball standpoint, they still have one of the best teams in the league. I would put my money on them to go to the finals. So I don't even even if you had Kyrie, more likely than not, he's gonna get injured. So that's like, come on. I believe Perk had a point, and I already watched this earlier. So his big point was, why is what is Kyrie waiting for, or what does he need for him to be told that the vaccine is for him? And what was told for him, if y'all heard about Carl Anthony Towns, he lost 6 family members, including his mother, to COVID, and that's what drove Kendrick Perkins to getting the um the vaccine, which is very valid. But in terms of, Kyrie isn't anti-vax, he isn't anti-vaccine. What it sounds like to me, Kyrie's stance is, I won't get. It is unfair that people are losing their jobs because they won't get the vaccine and they don't have information. Every time you hear something from somebody, it's either I'm just waiting to see, or a lot of people will say they don't trust it. But from what I hear most is, I want to do the research. Stephen A. Smith was invited to the ICU personally. The everyday Joe or Jane Doe or John Doe doesn't get that luxury. You hear take the vaccine more than you hear the side effects of it. We've been in this pandemic for about a year and 6 months, a year and a half. I don't know how long the vaccine has been out, but I know it's not long enough to see how it affects. I know quite a few people. It's not more than the deaths, of course, of COVID, but the vaccines have had some side effects that gives people cause to pause, especially in the black community. I don't know the research I don't know the history of vaccines with us, but I wouldn't be surprised if I heard some bullshit. Um, but and I know I'm scatterbrained right now, but the vaccine, he's not anti-vaccine, but he's anti. He wants research for us. All you hear is get the vaccine. You don't hear about the side effects. For me personally, I would like to know what happens if a woman who's pregnant gets it. How does it affect the child? I want to know, how does someone who has cancer, how does it affect them? It hasn't been out long enough for us to know that information. And I'll agree that it's our civil duty. Like me, I'm not anti-vax, but I'm not anti-vax, but I'm not about to go out my way to get it. You know what I mean? I just won't put myself in positions to hurt other people. I wear my mask where it's, permitted, or where it's forced. I don't have a problem with it. I don't go where I'm not allowed. If somewhere said you're not allowed here without a vaccine, I'm not gonna go. I'm not gonna protest. It is what it is. It's the rules. But if my job said, hey, you got to get a vaccine to work here, I'll be the first in line. Like, it is what it is, because that's what I got to do to put food on the table. Kyrie has enough money to put food on his grandkids' table. So he has the luxury to do this, and as a black man, Stephen A. Smith should support him. It's bigger than basketball. Because although it would hurt if you gave someone COVID and they died, it would also hurt if you promoted somebody to get the vaccine and they died as an effect of the vaccine. So as long as Kyrie, and I did see Stephen A. bring up a good point where Kyrie was signing some shoes for some kids or whatever, and he didn't have a mask on, and that's where the inconsistencies with Kyrie lies. Like, he isn't very consistent, with the flat earth thing and all that. And that goes back to the earlier point where, in terms of his logic, he may not earn the benefit of the doubt, but him showing up as a player, I don't see how you lose the benefit of the doubt, and you accusing him or bringing up the notion that he might be using this as his excuse to not play, when he's either been injured or the one time he missed 10 days and was caught partying with his sister. I think we just need to let Kyrie be Kyrie. Just beat him. He's a grown ass man. Whether he plays or not, the Nets are still a top 5 team in the league. It is what it is. And him, also one thing they were confused about was, do you want to play or do you not? Like, y'all just fishing for something to have a problem with this man, because I know it helps y'all ratings. Obviously, if he gets traded, he can play somewhere else other than California or San Francisco. I don't know how it works, but if he gets traded to the Cavs or something, let's just say, he could play. So he will play, because the rules is weird where away teams, if you're not vaccinated, like Bradley Beal could come to Brooklyn and pay even though he's not vaccinated, but he can't play but Kyrie can't play in Brooklyn because he's not vaccinated. It's weird, I know, but I hope Kyrie doesn't get the vaccine at this point, because that would be like him folding unless he gets what he wants, and that's my problem with Kyrie. We don't know what he wants.